inform, we educate, we entertain. We are the people's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
In the journey of progress towards development, each chapter of action we actually take and our collective effort adds layers of depth and meaning, and every step, no matter how small or big, towards development shapes a brighter future for us all. Welcome to the Development Report on People's 105.5 FM, where we explore the vital issues surrounding sustainable development. I am Ife Onyekwere, your guide through topics that matter, from women's empowerment and children's rights to climate change, water resources, food waste, energy, waste management, and more. So last week we discussed challenges and solutions to plastic pollution in Nigeria, and today we'll be looking at corporate responsibility in reducing plastic waste. And of course, I do not do this alone. I have a guest in the studio, and you also listening, because this is our collective responsibility. You will be joining the conversation. You could join the conversation on social media at People's 105.5 FM. And if you want to call in, the number to call is 0911 222 1055. I take that again, 0911 222 1055. And on WhatsApp, you could send a message via 0911 112 1055. And on Twitter, I am TDev Report. All right, so we started the conversation on plastic waste last week, and we established the fact that, every year there are tons of plastics in our oceans, landfills, communities, causing significant environmental harm and even down to our health, right? So while some corporations are actually bearing this at heart, aside those who are the producers, others who are, recognizing their role in reducing plastic waste through corporate social responsibilities. Some are actually lukewarm, and some are, relaxed about it. But some international corporations, are moving to take big steps towards this development, from innovative packaging solutions to comprehensive recycling programs. And, some companies are responding to customer demand, but still, setting standards for corporate responsibility, bearing plastic waste reduction at heart. And in today's segment, we will explore the strategies and initiatives that has got some of these leading corporations to tackle plastic waste, right? So stay tuned as we uncover how businesses are making a difference and what more can be done to ensure a cleaner and greener planet for the future. I have in the studio an amazing personality. She's a climate change energy. I actually like the fact when I see women in climate change, like I get so excited. Well, she's actually a climate change an energy expert, and she's also a doctoral student of West African Service Center on Climate Change and Adapted Land Use. Amazing. Permit me to say Dr. Umako Nela.
Not yet, but very soon.
Okay. Yeah. So we've not gotten to the parts for the questions, but why the passion on climate change? Why the passion on climate change?
Oh, I've not really thought about it, Sha. Yeah. Actually, in Nigeria, they have
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, in Nigeria, they have a lot of courses that everyday microbiology, biochem, and the rest. So climate change like a new emerging situation. So you have to look at what is trending. So at this point, I think climate change is trending. And in line with what I read in my BSc, so I also.
But what did you study in your BSc?
Physics.
Wow.
Industrial physics.
You're a strong woman.
I don't know how to let's link those two and look at how atmospheric science, atmospheric physics, climate change, all those things come together. So they're like intertwining. Climate change is everywhere. Even in the microbiology, in the biochem, industrial chemistry, medicine.
Wow.
There's climate change issues affecting them or involved here.
Wow, amazing. So we've heard from her climate change issues. Like probably if you're following the news, if you're following everything that has to do with development, you definitely must have come across news stories about climate change. People are talking about it. What's going on? You today you see the way rainfall used to be like 10 years back is no longer the way it is. You hear so many controversies and things about climate change. So you're going to be learning, and you can also ask your questions. Remember, you can join the conversation. So after now, we're going to come back and take some development news stories.
We inform, we educate, we entertain. 105.5 FM, Abuja.
Straight up, we'll be taking some development news stories. African Development Bank advisor calls for industrial agribusiness to transform Nigerian economy. UNDP urges Nigerian diaspora to invest in national development. Nairobi professor points to Africa's potential to address climate challenges. Senior Special Advisor to the President of the African Development Bank, Professor Oyebanji Oyelero, has highlighted the potential of Nigeria's economic transformation through industrial agribusiness and value-added processing. He made this known in an event titled "Let Us Rebuild Future-Focused Solutions for Economic Growth," aimed to re-image pathways to a prosperous Nigeria amidst economic challenges. Speaking at the meeting, Professor Oyebanji highlighted the need towards a more industrialized agricultural system to combat poverty and boost productivity in the nation. The United Nations Development Programme UNDP has highlighted the importance of investment of Nigerians abroad at the 2024 Nigerian American Business Forum, pointing at the opportunities in Nigeria. Discussions at the conference centered on how engagements of Nigerians in diaspora can drive sustainable development in the country. UNDP's representative at the 2024 Nigerian American Business Forum, Ms. Elsie Atafwa, noted that investing in Nigerians' future not only supports local livelihoods but also contributes to a higher and wider regional and global prosperity. Chief Executive of the Global Center on Adaptation and the new Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, Professor Patrick, says Africa has the potential to tackle pressing climate challenges with innovative solutions. Speaking recently, he emphasized that Africa's vast natural capital and youthful population positions it uniquely to lead in climate adaptation. The professor on Global Center on Adaptation stressed the importance of international support and investment to realize this potential in Africa. And that's it on the news segment. Keep it locked right here as we come back for more engaging content.
When it's time, baby, check your time. One time, make I feel your vibe. Steady, she dey come online. Yeah. If she no come on time, she dey come online. With some of me on my emo pad. Not one shot, too much in a crime. My pretty Isabella, cover like umbrella. She dey make me shiver. I'm a Toto Angelina. She na pants and dollar. Living la vida na loca. You dey boss my charisma. The love they time in la isla. Well, come closer, baby, come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where come over. Well, come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where come over. I dey ball like show to Wale. I dey live my life on the low key. Me Me, I know they stress anybody. This one a generation of Gen Z. Uncle Yakubu, me, I Charlie. Me, I just want make up money. Make a buy Ferrari for mommy. Daddy leaving me at the ball. My pretty Isabella. Cover like umbrella. Shit, they make me shiver. I'm a Toto Angelina. Shena pants and dollar. Living la vida na loca. You the boss, my charisma. Your love, the timing la isla. When you come closer, baby, come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where you come over. When you come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where you come over. When you come closer, baby, come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where you come over. When you come closer. Inside room, she dey come closer. Inside quarter, she dey bend over. My family, she dey where you come over.
All right, it's me, Ifi Onyekere, and this is the development report. And so we're discussing corporate responsibility in reducing plastic waste. And let's look at data surrounding corporate responsibility in reducing plastic waste. So globally, major multinational companies are actually adopting sustainable practices to reduce plastic waste. However, it says only about 10% of plastic waste is currently recycled worldwide, which means there is need for more robust corporate commitments to, join hands and reduce plastic waste in the globe. And in Africa, initiatives like World Bank's Plastic Waste Reduction Linked Bond are supporting projects in countries such as Ghana to actually enhance plastic waste management. Coming down to Nigeria, corporate responsibility initiatives is gaining heights, with the USAID and some international companies, investment, I think there was a time there was an investment of about $4 million, which was actually aimed to, recover 49,000 metric tons of plastic waste and, create over 10,000 green jobs, So there are actually efforts from also state governments and, the federal government, some parastatals doing one or two things, everywhere. But we want to look at the implications of what's really going on and how Nigerians perceive what's happening, because if a few people are the ones discussing about what's going on, then there's a problem. But if a lot of people are involved and saying, oh, I understand, I know that when I take a bottle of water, I should not throw the plastic on the floor, or understand the single use of plastic instead of me using plastic ones, or even the producers, the people who are producing this, what are they doing, their efforts and all like that. And we're not going to be doing this alone. Like I said, we have an expert in the house. We have one called Nina, who is a climate change and energy expert. She's going to be discussing with us. She's going to be sharing her expertise with us. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp on 0911 112 1055 and via call 0911 222 1055. On social media, we are at People's 105 FM, 105.5 FM. All right, so hello, ma'am. How you doing? All right. So from your expertise, just tell us what it is like, the main implications of plastic waste before we go into the corporate world now. Tell us the main implications for us as a country.
Okay. Talk about implications. You have different sectors of economy of life. Okay. So when you look at the plastic waste, it cuts across all sectors of life, in the sense that all the sectors utilizes plastic waste in one way or the other. For example, for those that are into cooking.
Okay.
They use it for selling of plastic. Water.
Yes.
Water that we drink. You can remember when we are still little kids when we use this water bottle.
Yes.
To go to catechism.
Exactly.
2 hours, you fetch water from your house. Carry the water bottle to church, catechism. You stay there, you drink it, you watch how you drink the water, because you know that there's no how you get that water back.
Yes.
You can't buy pure water at that time, you can't buy bottled water at that time. You can't even see where to buy unless you have a neighbor or a friend that lives around the church that will assist you to fetch water from their tap with that gallon or that water bottle. But nowadays you can see that the difference is there.
Options.
Yes. Plastics are everywhere. You move around, you see plastics. You stand up, you see plastic. Even where we are sitting here, I can see plastic before me. I'm in the studio and I'm having a plastic before me. So when I finish drinking, what will I do with it? Should I go with it? Should I drop it somewhere? But there should also be a place that we have a point where we drop those plastics. Because if you're telling me that it's going to cause a pollution for me, I might not know. But when you tell me, Nena, drop these plastics on your way out by your left or by your right, that's like an awareness. Consciousness. But there's no way you're telling me, here I'm coming to talk about plastic. You're telling me come and talk about plastic. And there's nothing to show. I'm talking about plastics. I didn't even see any way to show in People's FM that plastic waste is collected somewhere. And if you use plastic, you gave me bottled water before me.
We're taking notes of that. Yeah. Taking notes.
After drinking, what do I do with it? I take it home. I can't take it home, my dear. I just find a place and drop it. Although it's bad, actually. But is that the way of life we see ourselves? But even if I'm trying to be conscious of what I do, I'm just one out of how many?
Yes.
I do that a lot. I carry it on my bag. I go home and I throw it. I pack it somewhere for some people that collect it. We have some people that collect those plastics waste. What am I saying? The plastic waste affects all sectors of life. Because even if you trash it on the floor, it doesn't decay. It contaminates the soil, and the soil will plant things from the soil. It grows. We eat those substances or whatever we are eating. So the plastic waste affects all areas of our lives. So you have to be conscious of what you do to mitigate or minimize such waste.
Wow, amazing. And that bullet actually hits me. Yeah, so talking about that now, you actually pointed one, like it's really stating that people, companies, organizations, individuals should be cautious about places where people can actually keep that, because they could actually take it from there to points of I think people even sell it. We came to a conclusion last week where we said people could sell plastic waste to those who recycle them and all like that.
Yes, it's actually possible, because I remember some people, when you look around Secretariat,
Secretariat here in Abuja,
here, some people carry this plastic on their head. Even some trucks, you see them carrying plastics behind their trucks. It's not like they don't know what they are doing. That is a lot of money. Because these things are being weighed.
Amazing.
And they are weighed. You have an amount of money they are being paid for each weight. So when you say you don't have a job in Nigeria at this point, I wonder and I look at, there are many jobs to be done. There are many jobs to harness. But looking at, maybe you're saying that because I'm a tush girl or a Gen Z body, I can't go and start picking plastic on the road. It doesn't make sense. I can even send my brother to help me pick. I mustn't be the one picking.
Wow.
I can make the money silently without anybody knowing. It's not even only plastic waste. Have those metallic waste, e-waste, hospital waste. You have ways of recycling those things to the public, and you have your money is waiting for you. Your economy is sustainable. Your environment is clean. Your soil fertility is improved. At least when you sleep.
Amazing. Someone who is listening right now and feels like I don't have a job and I'm in Nigeria, just somewhere around, like we just heard that now. There are ways you can actually make plenty money from plastic waste. You pick up plastic waste, water bottles and all like that, and then you take it to sell it to people who would recycle them, and you are you're actually paid at the end of the day. So this has been established. You can actually get a job from, picking waste. Like she said, it's not about doing big boy or big girl. Like, it's the money you get at the end of the day, right? And I think because sometimes we watch documentaries online. These things are common outside the country. You see people picking up waste and it's just normal. But I don't understand the mentality, like the way we feel like it's not a big girl thing here. So like after I'm done with my radio station program right now, and then I go out picking waste, somebody sees me and feels like, what are you doing? So I think it's just it's a thing of the mind, right? It's a thing of the mind, right? So I think education, we really need to inculcate this into our educational system, truly. Okay, so progressing on the topic for today, talking about now let's look at people who are producing this. What suggestions would you give to those who are actually the producers of plastic waste? What efforts are they doing to actually see that plastic footprint is reduced, and what do you think they should be doing more as regards this?
Oh, okay. For example, when I went for research in Lagos, I don't know what I'm allowed to call a company's name. I went to a company actually that we are into plastic recycling. Okay. So they made mention of a particular big multinational company that they're supposed to be paying some amount of tax to the government or to. Okay, what they actually mean was a way of helping to reduce the number of plastic waste, because these are also their waste coming back to the society. This is also their waste that is polluting. So they should charge an amount of money for them to know how to recycle those waste or change the mode of packaging. Because they have ways of packaging now. You have bamboo packaging. You have other sustainable ways of packaging. So if you're using these plastics to produce something like we have this rubber plastic soft drinks that is littered everywhere. Someone just drinks plastic and just throws it away. But if there's something like, say that, let me use an example, maybe Nena PLC, just an account for everybody's name, says that when you finish using Nena PLC bottle drink, return it to the nearest point and take 1 naira or 2 naira. What stops me from taking this thing and return? I'm going to get a little amount of what I've paid. Amazing. I'm paying, for example, I'm buying a bottle of 500 naira and I'm being paid back 50 naira for returning those plastic to be recycled back to be used for something else. Not like you're training it. They're not training that. They have an end use, another purpose of using it. So that will encourage me. When I drink it, I find that nearest point to drop that thing and collect my money. Then maybe that money also give me another, will now be like a difference of me buying another drink again. Like you're buying, circling the buying of drinks like that. So that's basically
amazing. Honestly, I feel like if companies are doing this, like everyone, and do you know the amazing thing? I think I went to get something last week because we talked about plastic waste last week, and after the whole conversation, I noticed a change in my behavior towards plastic, like plastic waste actually. So I went to get something. People like you just get something small, and then someone gives you leather here, you go again, someone gives you leather here and all like that. So what I did was I took a normal bag, like a big bag, and so I was just dropping stuff. So people want to sell something, like something small, and then you want to put it inside, and I'm like, don't worry, you get. So it was just so the unconscious reactions of people. I think we really need to take this very serious. Okay, we have someone who is making a comment here. He says, your guest has an intimidating profile. She said, picking plastics to survive in Nigeria is a way to go now. Yeah, we need to reduce plastic waste. Let us change the mode of packaging these plastics. Exactly. We really need to, have this in mind. It's something people, I think education is it, honestly. Education is it. And people, as we're having these conversations, it's not just a radio program because we just want to talk, but we want the effects to actually go out there. And I'm amazed by how it's affecting me individually, and how much more people it will actually affect. And so please, if you're listening, join the conversation, because your voice is actually very important. On WhatsApp, you can send a message to 0911 112 1055, and on telephone you can call on 0911 222 1055. We have an amazing guest in the studio, and we're discussing corporate responsibility towards reduction of plastic wastes.
Yeah.
We inform, we educate, we entertain. We are the people's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
Thank you for staying tuned. We're discussing corporate responsibility towards reduction of plastic waste, and your voice is needed. Look at our environment, especially their cities. Well, I don't want to look like, okay, because we are here, we are in Abuja, but some cities where you go to, there are some places even in Abuja.
For example, they say Texas is like heaven.
Right?
This is Texas that you cannot even, where is this place?
Are you serious?
Yeah. For example, I remember something now, when we are still small again, remember when we carry baskets to the market?
Right.
Baskets to the market.
And put everything.
Everything is inside. You're not conscious of those baskets. But now you cannot say, I'll go to the market, they'll give me nylon.
Right. And then we go to our kitchens and you see piles of, you just see folded, oh my God.
Folded and again, when piling those plastics, they get to breed mosquitoes, get to breed cockroaches, and get to breed so many things.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's why I said it's everywhere. It's in all sectors. When you say plastic, it just, when I drink water, I just drop my cup. No, it's not just, look at the after effect, the beginning, the value chain, where it's going to cut across. But the thing is that if we are conscious of what we do from the onset, we know that going to the market or going out of your house and you don't have a plastic bag, I don't think you should go and buy. Okay, for example, I was in India sometime sometime when I went to buy shawarma. I'm saying shawarma, for example. I went to buy shawarma. When I got to the shawarma point, and I said, I want to buy shawarma, they said, I think at that point, like I said, as an example, I can't remember, they said 2 rupees, 2 Indian rupees. I was like, okay, now give me shawarma in my hand. I'm like, no.
You're
later. And I said, no, you have to pay extra like 3 rupees.
Great.
For leather.
Amazing. Amazing.
How will I eat it? Now I said, if you can't eat it here, I don't know, get your plastic. I said, okay, don't worry. I'm not interested. I went home and I was like, I had to regret not buying it because I eventually ended up being hungry. Because of that mentality of having things on my hand. And the mentality of not knowing that I'm supposed to go with the plastic to the place. But even if I'm not going with the plastic, I go with a plastic container or something just to help
put it. Yeah.
But Nigerians nowadays, okay, for example, now I'm sorry to say, ShopRite. When you go to ShopRite, they will tell you buy plastic,
like
one nylon. You buy,
oh my God,
drink, 1 nylon. You buy spaghetti, 1 nylon.
Exactly.
You buy 1 nylon for one person. Then you now put them inside a trolley.
Yes.
Take it out to your car.
At the end of the day, you have like 12 leathers for small things.
I just wonder why we are all doing. Why can't you just put it all together and you're going to carry it to your car? Why don't you just carry it to your car?
From the trolley.
Yes, directly. Then if you're going to be paying, if you're going to all those leaders, Madam Oga, pay for it. Then you see people now saying, no, I don't want to pay. I have it plenty in my house. They start doing these hard leaders like this. If you go to Enugu, they have this cement bag. Okay. They now transform it into leather. It's now a strong, durable leather. I can't tear unless fire catches up with it. So if there's something like that, they sell maybe in maybe not really
part of the country.
People have their own type of leather that
something that can last for a long.
People can now take it and put it in their car and say, I might be rushing to the market. Like how you have your slippers in your car, instead like you have your heels, you cannot switch from heels to your slippers because you're going from office to the church or going from office to the market.
Yeah.
The same way, have your plastic bag. If you're going to go from the office to the market or going from the market somewhere to the market, accidentally, goes accidentally.
This will actually, I think if there's a strong if it's been imposed on Nigerians, we know how to complain when something is imposed and people are like, oh my God, how do I have to do this? But I feel like if it's been imposed on Nigerians, like, okay, everyone has to have this strong leather where when you're going to get anything, you take it because and then producers themselves, we're not going to be giving out those small leathers and all like that. I feel like it's going to go a long way to actually help us curtail the way we use leathers everywhere. Like it just seemed like a normal thing. Before these conversations, before this kind of, interaction, people who get to listen to this kind of things and, get cautious about it, it seemed normal to a normal Nigerian. Oh, there's leather here, there's bottled water here, there's bottle. At the end of the day, I can just pack it and, those who burn their waste, they just take it and just burn it and all like that. But I feel like when it's being imposed, people... So what we also do on this show is we take effort to listen to individuals, communities, NGOs, CSOs, yeah. Last week we listened to someone who is actually, doing a lot. She's still in the same Enugu you just mentioned. Wow, what's going on in Enugu? She's really doing
actually.
Wow, amazing. She said when she finished school and during her service year, that was when she started this environmental sustainability issue, and she's so strong on picking waste and all like that, and that's what she does for a job. So randomly I just spoke to a postgraduate student, like, what's your orientation about plastic waste? And okay, let's listen to the voice of Elizabeth.
My name is Elizabeth Achobe, a postgraduate student. I don't really know so much about waste, but I would say waste has implication on human existence, especially head-wise. When we don't get to dispose our waste properly, it can be detrimental to our health. So, and especially in my locality, I would not really say people know what waste segregation is. Personally, I'm not even sure I really know so much about it. Most times when you see people even segregating their waste from food particles or food waste and the plastic rubbers, some of them is just to load it up and sell it out to people who... I don't know what they use it for, but sometimes they get to sell it out to some of these people that and then you see people picking it on the streets because they know once they get this large quantity, you can easily sell to people. Most times the selling is not even for recycling. Some of these people kind of wash it and sell to all these roadside Zobo sellers and everything like that. So you don't see them do it because they have the knowledge of it, but because they know they can either get paid for it or get little funds from it. But I feel waste segregation should be included in our educational curriculum. People should be educated that you just don't segregate your waste because you know you can sell something out of it or use it for like little domestic activities. Maybe if you want to store up your red oil, your vegetable oil, or things like that. Just don't do it because that is what you want to use the plastic rubbers for, but you are segregating it because you have the idea and you know exactly what you are doing, and people get to know it when they are educated. We can include it in our school curriculums, down from the primary school education to tertiary institutions, because so many times even people who are even in tertiary institutions, like I said earlier, I don't really know what it is, but once it is included in our educational curriculum and we're educated about waste segregation, people will understand the foundation of it.
And that's Elizabeth being honest about her knowledge of plastic waste reduction and all like that. So we're opening the phone lines. You can call in 0911 222 1055. I take that again. You can call in to join the conversation. 0911 222 1055. So talking about people not knowing this, like, who is to blame, and how do we make this? How do we make people, this sink into Nigerians, like we're actually harming ourselves? Because a lot of people don't know this is actually us doing harm to ourselves. Like, where is the bridge where someone is not getting it right, and how do we correct that?
Yeah, everybody is doing a lot in their own sphere or cycle. Because I think the government is doing a lot, the private sector is doing a lot, the researchers are doing a lot. Myself and my team, all researchers worldwide, we are doing a lot. But the issue now is, where do we now come together and say this is our meeting point? Where do you now say this is our meeting point? Where do you now say that what we are doing, we are trying to address a particular issue? Okay, you're talking about plastic waste now. My mama in the village is now aware of the plastic, what it means. She thinks that because of she's following the trend. Let me use the word following the trend. When I buy things for her, I buy it in leaders. Then she'll tie her money with leader 1, leader 2, leader 3, leader 4. Then she'll now go and hide it inside another plastic.
You can imagine.
Now put it inside another place. You know, like a trend. She keeps saving. Is it trying to save or trying to hide or trying to hide, and thereafter she forgets where she hides her money and she says someone stole her money or something. What happens? So if I'm able to say that, I have learned this thing today. You've heard my voice, you've heard Ife's voice, you've heard so many people preach about it. Have you been able in your own little space talk about what you've learned? You mustn't really agree with everything I've said here. You can also do your own research. Just Google on your phone or your laptop or whatever you're using and say, yes, this thing they said here, I can do this by doing this. These things we are saying here, my mother doesn't have a laptop or doesn't have an iPhone or Android or even a radio or even a leper light to able to hear or speak. But you that is hearing us now, how are we able to cascade down information that we've heard that you utilize within yourself to somebody that is next to you? For example, now if I go on the way and I see people throwing things inside the gutter or inside the drainage, I stop and I talk to you. I said, why are you doing this?
Really?
Yes, I do it.
I should start doing that too.
I said, why are you doing this? I said, pack it. I'll pay you, pack it. All these small girls that just say, it's raining, throw it inside the door. I just said, sorry, just pack it, I'll pay you.
Oh.
I'll just give you whatever I can give you. I said, take it and find somewhere and pick and put it. Please don't put it inside the gutter because they're causing more havoc.
And that's because you have the understanding of of the implications.
That's it. Then I'll tell you that if you pack it, you put it here, and it's going to cause something at the end, and water will come back to you and also cause something else for you. I don't have to speak like Wale Soyinka or whoever for you to understand. I need to get to your level and say, no, this thing you're doing here, when you reach the end, the water will be stopped. Water is going to come back with diseases. Mosquitoes are going to be breeded, ants, infect, all those things are going to come up. Then you're not suffering from what you have caused for yourself. So, I didn't cause it for you. Government didn't cause it for you. It's you that caused it for yourself. So how do you now mitigate it? How?
I think
so you have to start in your own little way. You don't have to tell somebody come to the workshop and stand PowerPoint how to reduce government efficiency on waste or how to research on waste and blah. No. Start from your own self.
Grassroots.
Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. How do we talk about trending things? Let something like this trend. Let you yourself trend on topics like hashtag plastic waste, hashtag climate change, hashtag this, hashtag this. People get to see that this thing gets a wider view. And maybe if you have real life videos, maybe because of IP right, board the person's face and show things that happen and talk about 1 or 2 lines. Although I'm not a social media thing, but I'm trying.
Yeah, amazing. Like we really need to. You're going to come back here, you know, right? All right. So could you just give us a summary looking at companies right now? Okay, this guest really listener really likes you. He said, awesome listening to your guest. Hope to hear more of her in your station. Let your guest tell us the way forward to reduce plastic waste in Nigeria. Let her lead the crusade in Abuja. We will join her. You can see. And this is Patrick in Kaduna Road, Suleja. Patrick, we've heard you, and we're really going to take this very serious. So I wanted to address companies right now, like even those who are not producing, like how do they come in, bearing in mind there's CSR, people do here and there. How can they come in to reduce this? For instance, a radio station, we don't produce plastic, right? But like, how can stations, how can companies, how can parastatals, how can, join hands together to actually reduce plastic waste?
For your radio station, I think you're already doing something by creating this awareness. Okay. Now, awareness is key.
Let me clap for us.
But I said what I said in the beginning about it, but awareness is actually key in saying that this plastic waste is mitigated, is reduced. You can't say it can be eradicated in Nigeria at this point, no, but gradually you get somewhere. So how do you do it? Creating awareness. Like, you're now creating awareness. You can also create awareness by putting all this bin outside. Say, put your plastics here. Put your food waste here. Put your liquid waste here. put this one here. So that way, anybody that wants to pick the plastic, when I come and say, People's FM, maybe you can even partner with those recycling companies to recycle.
Well, actually open for sponsorship. Actually,
we can even pay you for it, even if you don't want to do it on free base. You can even have some things, you weigh it and pay like that. So there are many ways we can look at it. Even you can even sponsor somebody on trainings to go on this plastic waste. Train people. Sponsor people to be trained, because if they are being trained, then again, not just training people. I say when you train people, let people train people. Talk about that. Not let's go guys.
Highlights.
Let people train people. Like how your eye, if you now are you trained? Let me ask.
Oh my God.
In your field,
my listeners.
Who have you trained? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So let's not.
That's actually very serious.
To ourselves or for ourselves. Let's also expand our horizon of information. Let's train people, and people should also even not train people 100%, but train people to an extent. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Wow, amazing. It's so painful that we have to come to the end of this session, because it's a bunch of information. It's a whole lot, honestly. And I believe everyone who has listened today, you really can inculcate this. You've not just listened because you want to listen, but listen and take action. On Twitter, I am at TDEV Report, TDEV Report, and I think I would really drive this course on plastic waste.